Hi everybody. This is a very, very old story, and it is retold and illustrated. That means all of the pictures were drawn by the same person that's telling it. Tomie de Paulo. Tomie de Paulo is now in heaven, so we wanted to read this to honor him today. Strega Nona. What kind of language do you think that is? Does it sound Spanish or German or... Let's see. In a town in Calabria, that's in Italy, a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. Although all the people in town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her when they had troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went because Strega Nona did have the magic touch. Here she is. She could cure a headache with oil, water, and a hairpin. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands, and she was very good at getting rid of warts. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her keep her little house and garden, so she put up a sign in the town square. I wonder what it says. And Big Anthony, who didn't pay attention, went to see her. "Anthony," said Strega Nona, "you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her, and you must fetch the water. For this, I will give you 3 coins and a place to sleep and food to eat." Big Anthony said, "Oh, grazie." "The one thing you must never do," said Strega Nona, "is touch the pasta pot. It's very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it." "Oh, si, yes," said Big Anthony. What do you think it means when he said grazie? Sounds like gracias, doesn't it? It does. It means thank you in Italian. Very good. And so the days went by. Big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts. Big Anthony had a nice big bed to sleep in next to the goat shed, and he had food to eat. One evening when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona singing. Peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. She sang, "Bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up." And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled as she was suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. Then Strega Nona sang, "Enough, enough, pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day." "How wonderful," said Big Anthony. "That's a magic pot for sure." And Strega Nona called Big Anthony in for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony, because he didn't see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses into the magic pasta pot. Like this. Mwah. I wonder what that did. This is what happened. The next day when Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch the water, he told everyone about the magic pasta pot. And naturally, everyone laughed at him because it sounded very silly. A pot that cooked all by itself? "You better go confess to the priest, Big Anthony," they said. "Such a lie!" And Big Anthony was angry, and he wasn't a very good person to be around at that time. And he said, "I'll show them. Someday I will get the pasta pot and make it cook, and they'll be sorry." So that day came sooner than later, and Big Anthony would have the thought, because 2 days later Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, "Anthony must go over to the mountain to the next town to see my friend, Strega Amelia. Sweep the house, weed the garden, feed the goat, milk her. And for your lunch, there are some bread and cheese in the cupboard. And remember, don't touch the pasta pot." "Oh, yes, yes, Strega Nona," said Big Anthony, but inside he was thinking, "Oh, my chance has come." Do you think he's going to do it? So, as soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside, pulled the pasta pot off the shelf. He did it. And he put it on the floor. Now, let's see if I can remember the word, said Big Anthony. And he sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot to boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry, and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And sure enough, the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill up with pasta. Aha, said Anthony. And he ran to the town square, and he jumped on the fountain, and he shouted, everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls, pasta for all, Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pasta pot work. Of course, everyone laughed, but they ran home to get their forks and plates and platters and bowls, and sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's, the pasta pot was so full, it started to overflow. Big Anthony was a hero. He scooped out pasta and filled the plates and platters and bowls. And there was more than enough for all of the townspeople, including the priest and the sisters from the convent. And some people came for 2 and 3 helpings, and the pot never ran out. When all had had their fill, Big Anthony sang, enough, enough, pasta pot, I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. But alas, he didn't blow the 3 kisses. And he went outside to the applause of the crowd. Big Anthony took a bow. He was so busy listening to compliments from everyone. That's when people say nice things to you. That he didn't notice the pasta pot was still bubbling and still boiling until a sister from the convent came and said, oh, Big Anthony, look! And pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Strega Nona's house. And it was also coming out the door. Pasta everywhere. Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pot kept bubbling. And he took the pot off the floor, but the pasta kept pouring from it. And Big Anthony grabbed a cover and put on the pot, and he sat on it. But the pasta raised over the cover and Big Anthony as well, and was spilled all over the floor of Strega Nona's house. Stop! Yelled Big Anthony, but the pasta did not stop. And if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him completely up. The pasta had all but filled the house. Out of the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot just kept right on the bubbling. The townspeople started to worry. Do something, Big Anthony, they shouted, and Big Anthony sang the magic song again, but without the 3 kisses. And it did no good. By this time, the pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead of it. Ran everybody out of town. We must protect our town from the pasta, shouted the mayor. Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything to make a barricade. But even all of those things did not work. The pot kept bubbling and the pasta kept coming. We're lost, said the people, and the priests and the sisters of the convent began praying. The pasta will cover our town, they cried, and it certainly would have had Strega Nona not come down the road home from her visit. She didn't have to look twice to know what happened. She sang the magic song and she blew the 3 kisses. Can you do it? And with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt. Oh, grazie, thank you, Strega Nona, the people cried. But then they turned on poor Big Anthony. String him up! They were really upset with him. Now wait, said Strega Nona. The punishment must fit the crime. And she took a fork from a lady standing nearby and held it out to Big Anthony. All right, Anthony, you want pasta from my magic pasta pot? And I want to sleep in my little bed tonight, so start eating. And he did. Oh, poor Big Anthony. Oh, thank you, Mr. de Paulo, for retelling that story, for your beautiful drawings. Rest in peace. All right, kids, until next time.